Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Where's GACHA Life 2, Where's GACHA Life 2, Where's GACHA Life 2, Where's GACHA Life 2. Okay, I'm kidding, but also not entirely. See, here's the thing. Yesterday was supposed to be the Android release date for GACHA Life 2. I mean that this device that I am recording on right now might have had a little bit more of a storage problem than it otherwise would be at the moment. But no, as it turns out, we were waiting in vain for the coveted time of 6 PM American time, which of course means nothing to most people because the US has 4 different time zones. 3 if you exclude Hawaii. I think that's the only one that's on the separate one. Or Alaska too, yeah. So, excluding Alaska and Hawaii, 3 separate time zones. So, it could have come out within any time, within the last like 3 hours, within a 3-hour period. So of course I started watching an Aphmau Vidcon panel, which of course I will get into in a second because we'll get to that when we get to it. I'm trying to remember. There used to be a footpath. I've gone the wrong way because I was looking for a footpath that was going alongside the river. I just seem to have stumbled across this bit, that's the road, which I was trying to avoid for about 40 minutes, trying to start in a place where there was few enough cars and people. I might have to actually turn around. I was trying to find somewhere new, well not really new, but where I've recorded less frequently, because, I mean, how can I top last week's walk, you know, in Leon? That's a tough act to follow. And unfortunately, good old Godalming is not entirely equipped for that task, unless you look more closely. Okay, there's the path down there. I must have. I guess I shouldn't have turned off at the bridge. Yeah, pretty sure it was this way. And now look, precarious path here, which I'll have to travel like so. And there we are. Alright, in we go. Peace and tranquility. Okay, yeah, I see what I did. I should have gone over there and come this way. Ah, well. Yep, there's cowpats. That reminds me of certain parts of Leon. Okay, but really though. Ah, good grief! I'm dry already. That's not good. So what ended up happening was we were there for a while. It didn't go off of the pre-registered page, and as it turns out, yesterday Apple actually released the beta for the iOS version, which I guess, I mean, Luna said it was going to be like it was too early, but I mean, I don't know why you would release the beta right like the day before the actual release was supposed to come out. That I don't understand. So, yeah, who knows. But as for the Android version, which was supposed to come out yesterday, there was another message when I woke up that I saw, and that was something that Emily had reposted from the LunaMade Discord server, from Looney himself, saying, oh, well, apparently we sent a review that took 24 hours. Sorry about the Android day, because I sent a review took 24 hours to process through, and it got accepted. But we now have to send another review to get it off of pre-register and onto I guess, you know, released or whatever. So I don't know why Google has a two-step system in that regard. They seem to like those, you know, two-step verification, two-step system, you know, stuff like that. They're a fan of two steps, Google, it seems. So, yeah, apparently that review has gone through, and as soon as that gets processed by Google, then it will be on the Play Store. So it might happen, honestly, within me making this video. So this may be out of date by the time that I actually post it, which is probably the same thing that one could say for the monetization issues from like back in the day. Every time I made an announcement somewhere, it was going to be out of date by the time that it was either posted or I immediately drew attention to it. So yeah, who knows? But speaking of that, there was a little bit of a scare that happened yesterday. So going back to the VidCon video in question, this is something that hasn't happened for since the infamous incident back in the day, and that is that what was I going to say? Yeah, and that is that one of the stream that I was doing was taken down in the middle of its of itself, basically. And that hasn't happened since the time I got my second community guidelines strike back in, what year was it, 2022? Yeah, back in 2022. That then that was the 5 years later stream that got taken down, and then another one got taken down immediately afterwards, and that's what gave me the strike. And it was one of those things for, like, you know, I can't remember what it was now. It was like it was like the not misleading metadata, but I think that might be what they used to call it. It was that policy, basically. So YouTube at that point could no longer distinguish between someone reacting to a My Street video, offering their, you know, thoughts and commentary and such, versus the actual video itself. Granted, some of that probably was my fault too, because the way that I make those videos is that I put title of video and then at the end, My Street 5 years later, and I have my thumbnail branding stuff over the top of the original thumbnail to highlight that this is something that I am covering over someone else. And it seemed like that was okay for the 2 years leading up to that point in 5 years later's runtime. But yeah, by that point, I guess it came to their attention for the first time, and so they took those down and gave me a strike. The first one got taken down with nothing coming whatsoever, but it was because I immediately did another one, or tried to do the same video again, thinking it was an error, that they were like, yeah, no, we're striking you, and, you know, go through that process. So yeah, that was not fun, but that was the reason that I switched from doing the stream version of those videos to VODs. And yeah, that was definitely the right move. And then it brings me to, I guess, the VidCon panel, where VidCon probably has a similar thing in their content ID system, and I just didn't account for the fact that since the video was on an official VidCon channel, that they would probably have some sort of protection there in place. And as a result, the stream ended up going down. At first I saw Bond say dead stream or something like that. I thought, oh, okay, the stream is dead, therefore Restream is having to connect once again. I thought it was an error. It would be fixed in a moment, but no. Then suddenly everyone else said, oh, someone's saying the stream is down. So I was like, okay, everyone go to Twitch right now. And then I deleted the stream on YouTube, stopped streaming on Restream to YouTube, and just did the usual Twitch and Facebook Live, which are unaffected by the same content ID principles that YouTube is directly affected by. Then of course, if I try to re-upload the VOD, I might have to go through, you know, checks or something like that. But that's a significantly less scary process, because that's something that they do deliberately so that people can say, oh, this video is going to have these issues. If you publish it, we'll do those checks first. Because it used to be back in the day that you just like upload them normally, and then retroactively you would get the checks, and therefore suddenly, you know, you have to re-upload the thing several times. And now they actually have they specifically tell you what region has been claimed or what has occurred, and there you are. And not to mention monetization checks if you want to get to that stage. As far as monetization goes, the reason I panic so much is because I can deal with another. I could normally deal with a community guideline strike back in the day. I mean, I just upload Walking Wednesday for the Butter Bunch, and I can easily survive a week without uploading to the main channel. Weirdly enough, my channel seems to grow more when I don't post to it sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. Okay, now I'm just realizing, so that path will be blocked, and the other path is the official one, which is the open one, but it's blocked by cows right now. Am I going to have to climb the fence to continue? Yeah, I'm going to have to climb the fence to continue. Alright then. Today's an adventurous Walking Wednesday, that's for sure. We're not making it all the way to Guildford, because I'm pretty sure I've gone the wrong way. This is the direction to go to Guildford. I mean, just like the path itself. I'm fairly certain that this was not the area I was supposed to land in. Yeah, that's weird, because there was no path that I saw that... Whatever. I will investigate that some other day. So yeah, normally I could deal with that kind of thing. But then the community guideline strike I got in May was the one that I then sent to review. That was the child safety one, and that one was then the issue that ended up getting me flagged and demonetized entirely on the channel. Not wanting to go through that again. I've resolved I'm probably not going to do any more reviews per se of like channel reviews, I mean. So if they give me the option to be like, oh well, you know, you can review us, see if we made a mistake, that's just going to get more attention, because then they watch the entire channel and then they decide, oh well, there's even more issues than before, so now we're going to escalate this even further. But I did check the YouTube dashboard, and I don't know why this only occurred to me now, actually. But the reason that strike in 2022 went through immediately, without a warning from them, is because I already sustained a warning for the same thing in 2019. And I don't remember what video that was for, because they removed it a long time ago. It wasn't 5 years later, because that was obviously too early. I don't even know what it was. About, you know, misleading clicks or metadata, or I don't know, something to that effect. So yeah, don't ask me. Stay away from them with the phone. I don't want to. They were doing some electrical operating as soon as I arrived at Beat. Okay. I love this. You've got look at that. Calor sold here. They sell you heat. You know, it's more like you know, that's basically what the National Grid does, but you know what I mean. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, so I was worried about that, but then I realized, oh, okay, that warning that was there in 2019, for some reason, it only occurred to me to look at the details of it I guess just in case it happened to be once again the exact same issue, which I'm pretty sure it was. And even though at least the video was going to show up at some point on there, and I would have that issue. So I guess if I stop uploading for the next month, next week, you'll know why. But what was I going to say? No, forgot. Yeah, but I looked there, and it looked like the actions that you could take involved actually taking a training to and then the warning would be removed after 90 days. I thought, because everywhere else it says, oh, if you get a warning on your channel, you know, it's there forever. So you get the warning once, it doesn't go away. So if you get another, if you violate the terms of whichever term it was again, then you know that's when you'll get a strike. You won't get a warning again. So that's what I thought was the policy. But it turns out, if you just take a training from the warning itself, the warning goes away in 90 days. It's still there normally to give you, like, because the training's there from the beginning, so it's like, okay, well, you know the issue, don't do it again within the next 90 days, so, you know, it's not like a latitude or something. But yeah, so as it turns out, the warning was received in June of 2019, and the training was completed yesterday, showing October of 2023, and the actual time it's going to be removed is January 9th, 2024, assuming that I don't then once again have a misleading metadata issue or whatever. Which basically means the only streams I'm probably going to do from this point until January will most likely be GACHA review, or maybe some Minecraft review, because those ones, the ones that aren't like heavily guarded by super content ID, have been okay in the past. You know, stuff like Octagon, well, Project Octagon, or whatever the musical roleplay was. And also, weirdly enough, the Empire's SMP full compilation, that seemed to be just fine. That seemed to be okay. That was a fun one, I must say. It was a risky venture, but it was a fun thing to do, that's for sure. I'll have a chrome scooter, not really chrome, but anyway. But yeah, so I'm hoping that's not going to come up again, because I guess the only thing that there's a record, the only record of that video existing, possibly, would be the $20 that Ghosty donated at the start of that particular stream. If that shows up in a couple of days when it updates on my revenue page, then that is most likely going to that's most likely what's going to be the official record from there, or it's just going to say from deleted video or something. What I'm hoping is that it refunded Ghosty, but I don't know how that refund policy works. If user deletes stream while stream was going, but money has been received, does money still go to user or to donator? I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. So yeah, that was that incident from yesterday, and that's taken up almost all of this video, which is interesting because like we had another like 1 day of time in Spain to get through. We visited a bunch of caves actually, and I wish I'm wondering, because like the cave thing was really fun, but and then went to see a play afterwards, which was also quite fun for me. For me, it was like a thematic crossover between Macbeth and Yes Minister, not on a quality level, but like as far as tragic hero falls to fatal flaw, but also everyone in politics is in it for themselves, and you know, that kind of thing. And you know, comedic hijinks ensue because we're making fun of the state of the world, because it was the world really. It wasn't like the state of Spanish politics specifically. It was just, oh, you know, I will be, yeah, I'm the concejal of this city, or I will be the president of the government, and that's it. Never stating what government it actually is. Granted, they do say president of the government all the time in Spain, referring to just them, but again, it wasn't specific. Other than, I guess, some of the names being very, very, very Spanish by nature, but whatever. Yeah, so apart from that, like, those were fun, but I realized, like, on that same day, because there was another day that I could have gone in, like I said, to teach more GACHA stuff. But as it turns out, I goofed. And it ended up with me walking up a hill, apparently. Right. Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, as it turns out, one of the because I mean, some of the students had already asked if I was going to be there, and I sort of said that yes, I could be, but that turns out then I changed my mind, because everyone was saying to me, you know, you're on holiday, you know, actually enjoy your time doing other things as well, because I wasn't expecting to, you know, work that much at that point anyway. But yeah, it was a really bad day, because I'd be like on my own, because I'd be there during random meetings without much to do during that point, because I'd only be sharing classes with Denethor's wife. Yeah, it was. But then, as it turns out, that same group, I told some of them to like bring the scripts, and they forgot. But then immediately afterwards, someone came in with a completed script, and they actually acted it out in class. And I wasn't there to record it or anything, like I normally would. So yeah, I was very disappointed in myself when it came to that. I got someone so excited that they went off and did a full script in English during just the night, and then I came in and was going to see me there and impress me with it potentially, or just, you know, have me record it, whatever it might have actually been. And yeah, I completely blew it. So yeah, I owe that student and the entire class an apology, but I'm working on it. I was going to say that when Gacha Life 2 came out, that I would, along with the upcoming series, also make what we did in the first class into a gacha video to show them how the end product can look from the initial points. That was going to be my apology. But yeah, since Gacha Life 2 isn't out yet, I haven't sent an announcement or anything, so who knows. They've probably moved on. Apparently they had a test to study for, so, you know, they had other stuff going on. So ultimately, it wasn't that bad, I guess, for them in the end, but it was probably worse. They probably wanted to not revise for that test, knowing what students are like. Yeah. So I'll have to think of something like that. But yeah, the caves were really fun. I also managed to beat an undefeated champion at Uno. That was also satisfying. But yeah, I mean, in that time, I actually looked up the application to become, you know, an assistant teacher in that program, which seems to be either run by the US or is run just for the US, because yeah, I have to probably ask again about that, because I haven't found anything else. And then the same link got Denethor linked that to me today, and also asked my dad to forward it to me, so everyone's really excited for me to try that out. And honestly, so am I, because I probably won't be doing what I did that particular day all the time, because honestly, even though I set up to do a series of tutorials, there's probably only so much gacha content I can get away with teaching, because of course they have to do other things. I mean, for crying out loud, can you imagine? But yeah, now I think about that, there needs to be a place with a technology program to even account for that. So yeah, they kept on saying, oh yeah, you can apply to these other places. Might just try and see if I can get that center, because the headmistress already asked after me, and if it's technology I seem to be good at getting people inspired to do, then perhaps that is something to pursue. I wasn't trying to rhyme, but there you go. And who knows, I can focus on some other stuff too. Show them how to do, you know, poetry or other forms of multimedia, you know, whatever it might be. That's really, you know, that's plans for the future. We don't have to worry about that just now. What else happened? I've got about 2 minutes before this cuts out. So I guess I'll tell you what I said at the end of that Aphmau Vidcon panel. Despite everything that happened in that Vidcon panel, I don't hold it against them at all. And naturally, sorry, and naturally, I was enthralled by the whole process, because the reason I even picked that video out was because within the first few minutes it was revealed, okay, we're going to do like a mock trial with the voice actors, and we'll also be doing a trivia quiz. And I was like, oh, sign me up for that. So I thought, yeah, that was going to be a really fun time. It would have been a fun time if I just watched it casually, but I'm glad that I, you know, did that step, because it really emphasized to me that, I mean, one of the things that 5 years later exists for is to you know, recapture some of the fanaticism, or the, you know, some of the excitement around the old role plays, that past era of Aphmau that was lost during the audience change. At least that was what it was that was at first. That's what I started out thinking, because by that point we'd had the modern version of Aphmau for about 11 months, and there wasn't really much that we could really, like, the old fans would get too excited about anymore that was on there. And shortly after that, Aphmau issued that statement that was like, I know it won't be that lightning in, well, you know, lightning in a bottle that will, you know, keep striking or whatever for you all the time. Or something like a flower blooming, I can't remember now. Oh no, it's a star shining. It won't be that star that shines for you forever. But I'm glad for the time that we've had, or something like that. Really signifying that was like the end of the era. Of course, that was this VidCon panel was the same one where the famous announcement of season 7 happening at some point in the future came to pass. And like I said before, I can see why some people are annoyed that it took this long. I'm just relieved it happened at all. Oh. Okay, I just cleared out some storage. Let's keep talking about Aphmau. So, yeah, like I thought that was that was going to be the case, but and then I realized that, yeah, like one of the things I was really missing most of all with Aphmau was her mostly just being herself, in that, whether in front of an audience or not, because, you know, the older videos, the ones that weren't just, you know, being in character on the server the whole time, there's just like a hybrid state for me, where it's not quite Aphmau in character based on one of the role plays that she used to do, and it's not Aphmau being herself, the YouTuber. It's a hybridization that's obviously not targeted at me, so I can't really say, oh, you know, shame on you for doing this or whatever. No, not at all. yeah, so it's always been that's always been why I couldn't get behind that stuff. But then the older things where, you know, we actually see like the real her for a bit. I mean, albeit still a fairly censored version. If you've seen 2014 Aphmau, you know that she wasn't always as refined as she is now. Let's just say. But like watching that, like the whole VidCon thing on stage, the way that she actually does interact with people, acknowledges like the history of everything, laughs at like her own past and present, and addresses, you know, had trivia stuff for the current fans and also the OGs from the roleplay era particularly. I mean, for crying out loud, even Iron and Coal got mentioned by Chris at one point. I mean, my goodness, that's like the whole combination. So, yeah, very, very cathartic, to say the least. They're doing construction down there, so I'm going this way. Yeah, and that was what I was missing, and so I was so happy that I chose to watch that video in any capacity, because it proved to me that Aphmau is still the same behind the brand and, you know, the channel. She hasn't like lost the soul of what made her herself. I mean, even every now and then, some of the modern videos that catch my eye, I'll watch and I won't be entirely appalled by the results. So yeah, like it just shows that Aphmau is still Aphmau. She's still my favorite YouTuber after all this time. Like, I thought at some point it'd be like the title would have gone to somebody else, and there have been some close runners, but there's no channel on this earth that I have dedicated as much time to or interacted so much with the fan base of. Like, doesn't even come close to the devotion and enthusiasm that have come from Aphmau. Again, there are some that have come close. At one point I was only subscribed to one channel in all of YouTube, but yeah, nothing like that. And it just made me think, wow, I gotta go back and watch some more. Because ultimately it doesn't feel cynical or defeatist anymore. It just feels like the person that I didn't quite grow up watching, but I finished growing up watching, is still there. She's that star still shines as brightly as before, and for even more people and in different ways. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch some more Aphmau while I wait for GACHA Life 2 to release. Unless it's already done so, because again, I took a long time to make this video, and it's probably going to take me like an hour to get back. So please leave a like or dislike, super amount, subscribe if not already. On that note, until next time, farewell.